It's Fireback Friday! What's up, legends? My name is Liberty V Justice, and there's no period in my V because my victories never end, and I'm here to help you get your victories, legends. What's up? Check it out. So, Fireback Friday, the premise of today's show is simple. When life puts you through the fire, what do? You become bulletproof, and you fire back. Okay? Ready? Check it out. Free your mind and the rest will follow. It's simple. I'm gonna make it real simple, sweet, sexy, and straight to the point. Okay? So it's three ways that you can fire back. And it's fitness, food, and attitude. Okay? Attitude gets you latitude. Okay? The higher your attitude, the more people will love you and do things for you, and the more money you can make. Okay? The more impact, income, and influence you can make. Check it out. So, these are tactics that I learned while these are the three things that saved my life and built my brand, I'm Worth It Incorporated, during homelessness in the beginning of the pandemic. Okay? Right? So, check it out. When I was on the streets, I was sleeping on the concrete. You know, I didn't have a car, I didn't live in a shelter or anything like that. I slept on the concrete by myself, no sex, right? No sex, nothing like that. No drugs, no alcohol, cigarettes, nothing, right? So I'm totally different from all people, okay? And except for maybe a few, like, babies that were just born, right? So, check it out. So, fitness, food, and attitude. Now, one of the things I noticed is that people are very out of shape. They eat garbage, and I've been there, both things. I lost 250 pounds, and I used to eat garbage, and even after I lost the weight, I would eat garbage sometimes. You know, like Reese's Cups. I had, like I said, I told you the other episode, I said I had one Reese's Cup, and I spit it out. During this whole pandemic thing, I had one because I knew I had to step up and help others, and I knew that I couldn't be like everybody else. I knew that I couldn't eat sugar. It's terrible. It's addictive. It's like crack to me. It's like heroin. It's terrible. And if you check out this study, I'll post a link below. They did a study on rats. They gave the rats cocaine, and then they got addicted to the cocaine. They were pressing that lever to get the cocaine, and then they switched to they gave them the choice between cocaine and sugar, and the rats chose the sugar. It's very addictive, and it causes cancer. Okay, but on to the subject. People eat garbage. They're out of shape. Even if you look like you're in shape, you might have a nice body, but you're still out of shape because you can look at somebody and you can tell they're not healthy. You can tell by looking at their face. They're not sleeping properly. They're not hydrated with the water properly. You know, you can tell that a person you can see their spirit. Okay. You know it. All right. So it has nothing to do with weight or anything like that, you know. So it has to do with energy, all those things, right? And I noticed that people have a really bad attitude. And part of the attitude is good food, good mood on Liberty's YouTube and on my podcast too, right? But it's really like you don't realize the impact that food has on your mood. People always ask me, why are you so positive? It's because I eat healthy. Yes, I do have to work on my positive mental attitude all the time, every day, like throughout every day. But at the same time, I notice that sometimes I will eat some things that have, like when I eat a lot of carbs, right? Carbs convert into sugar in your bloodstream, and that's why diabetics can't eat a lot of carbs. And so, but when I eat a lot of carbs, and you know, it brings me down, right? And I get tired, I get depressed. I want to go to bed after I have one meal a day, and I'm ready to just like go to sleep. I'm crying, and it's terrible. So it has a lot to do with food. So these are the things. During the pandemic, this is what I learned. Fitness. I felt like God was telling me, like, this is your time, Liberty. Do it now. Like, right before I actually volunteered at the LA Marathon, and I was getting ready to do I was like, the following year, I said next year, I was going to do, I think it was March. It was supposed to be in March. And obviously, they kept telling us, like, oh, 6 months, it'll be over. Then another 6 months, you know. And now it's been over 2 years, right? So the following year, I was going to do, right before the lockdown, I went and did the LA Marathon. I volunteered. And I was going to do my first marathon. And God was telling me, look, you have to get you have to get your fitness right. You have to get your food right. Like, just because you work out every day, you know, you can't act like everybody else and eat garbage. Like, remember you were in a wheelchair? Like, what do you have, like, Liberty, how much are you going to have to go through with your health in order for you to start eating right? You know, you get depressed, you're sleeping on the streets, you're depressed, you eat all these Reese's Cups and all these chocolate covered almonds and all this shit, and you really think that you can make a difference in the world when you're just like everybody else? Okay, but you can't change the world if you're like everybody else. You can't truly love them and serve them and tell them, hey, you shouldn't eat all that sugar. You're eating it. You know what I mean? Oh, you got to eat more green stuff. Well, you're eating a lot of sugar, though, too. You eat green stuff, Liberty. I could just hear them say, they never said it, but you eat green stuff, but you eat all that sugar, too. I can just imagine that they were thinking that. But, you know, your mental health is not good. And I knew I had to step up my mental health because I knew that people needed an example. Not necessarily me. They didn't need me. I kind of thought that at the time. Like, I'm the hero of this whole thing. But I needed to be good for my family, and I needed to be good for myself and take care of myself. Put my oxygen mask on first, but go even further than just not just putting on my mask, but truly willing to take a bullet for people. And, you know, I woke up once in a pool of my own blood. And then another time, this was right when the lockdown happened, I came out of the hospital from getting my stitches for the first time. And that's when I was there for, no lie, 12 hours. Longest I've ever been in the hospital, I think, other than when I was in there for mental health issues or whatever. But when I came out to the lockdown, which I never even heard that word in my life. But then another time I got hit by a car. And what I'm saying is, I'm willing to die for you. I'm willing to die for you. I'm willing to die for the cause, for God. And I'm not going to die, though. That's the thing. Because I worked on my food. I worked on my fitness. I worked on my attitude. And because I know that I have to be totally different from other people. All people. Most people have a very poor attitude, and that's why they're poor. Most people have poor food habits, and that's why they're poor. And you would think, oh, well, they're eating that stuff in the choices they make with their food because they don't have a lot of money. No, because if they made better choices, they could make better choices and buy better food with their money, and actually it would cost them a lot less, because the addictive food that's robbing them of nutrients that they're looking for, their bodies are looking for, which is why they're addicted. They're not getting the nutrients they need. And if they made better choices, they would actually cost them a lot less. So, you know, and then you go to fast food, and people go out to eat and they don't give tips. They're very, very greedy. So food, fitness, and attitude. Attitude gets you latitude. So even if somebody gives me attitude, you know, I would just like brush it off in the moment. And, you know, if I have to leave, I'll take a moment, you know, and I'll find whatever it is to feel grateful for that person. Now, if a person gives me attitude and I'm paying them, whether it's at a store or a restaurant or something, I'm either A, never going back there again, B, going back but speaking to the manager and not going to that cashier anymore, or whatever, right? So, but because I know I'm worth it, I deserve better than that, okay? But most of the times, if I have to go to a store and it's only a store around, like around here is not the stores, I'm gonna speak to the manager. Because even if, you know, like, that person needs to be dealt with. A lot of people won't speak up, but I will. I'll speak up in a nice, respectful way because I am worth it, and because that, to me, is injustice. That person needs to, like, God forbid should they lose their job, because they deserve to keep a job at low income if that's what they're, don't get me started on that. But you got a poor attitude, you got a poor income. You got poor food habits, that's why you're poor. You got poor fitness. Those are three attributes that poor people have. So if you do the opposite, then eventually you'll be wealthy, okay? So, fitness, food, and attitude. That's it. You really have to eat healthy. Like, I always say, eat produce if you want to produce. It's all living food. If you want to feel alive, eat live food. Produce, that's, in a word, it's produce. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, anything that's, you know, not in a can or a factory, right? I do eat some things, like I eat my Quest products. I do drink a protein shake, right? But for the most part, most of the food that I eat is live. I eat some dairy. I eat a little bit of dairy. I eat eggs. I eat a little bit of meat here and there, not that much. But, you know, I eat some soy stuff sometimes, vegan stuff, burgers, whatever, vegan, you know, bean burgers too, whatever. But for the most part, produce. So if you want to produce, eat produce. If you want to have the green, eat the green, right? Okay, if you want to feel alive, eat live foods. People are, why do you have all this energy? Because I eat live foods. I feel alive because I eat live foods. These are the things, and I noticed, like I said, I had carbs 3 days in a row. I had a oatmeal bar. I had a Cliff Bar 3 days in a row, which, why do I need it 3 days in a row, you know? And I noticed I was very tired, but then, like, on the 4th or 5th day, I was feeling so much better, right? So, food can also mess up your sleep. It messes up your mood. You eat the wrong food. You eat a lot of sugar. You're up all night in pain. You can't sleep. You're anxious. Your mind's going. You're you know what I mean? You're just like, you're crying sometimes. You're so depressed. It's bad, dude. It's bad. So food affects your mood, your attitude. Good food, good mood, right? For the most part, if you have good food, you're going to have you might not have the better mood, but you still have to work on your mood and your attitude. But it's a lot easier when you eat live food. Okay, you want to have the green, eat green stuff. All right. People are like, oh, what does it taste like? I don't know if I'm going to like it. I'll tell you what it tastes like. It tastes like money. It tastes like money. Now, if that's not the sexiest thing that I've ever heard in my life, all right, so that's it, really. I mean, work on your fitness. During the pandemic, I ran. Every single day, I ran. And I would get up at 3 in the morning, and if I took a shower once a week, I took a shower, I'd get up at 2, because I had to walk a long way, then get on the bus, and then I walked back, I took an Uber back, actually, because it was so far away to this truck stop. But I called them, and they said, yeah, it's $15. So once a week, I'd treat myself, I'd take a shower. I'd get up at 2. And I would go run, and then I would go take the bus and take my shower, right? So if you want something, you gotta plan for it, right? And so you gotta have the best thing. Yes, plan your food, eat healthy food, make sure you have it ready to go shopping, have it prepare in advance. Yes, prepare to go running or walking, or, you know, maybe just stay home and do yoga, whatever it is, move your body, right? Don't sit around all day, because if you're sitting around, you're going to be more tired. I know it sounds crazy, but the more you move, the more energy you're going to actually have, right? So, but take it from me, I lost 250 pounds. But most importantly, you always have to work on planning to have an attitude of gratitude, and planning that no matter what happens in life, that you're always going to say, look, I can figure this out. I can figure this out. I am capable. I can do this. Okay? If this, whatever I'm doing today, doesn't work out, I can find a different way. You can't be stubborn and think, oh, and it didn't work out, and then you get all upset and give up. You don't give up. You're a winner. You don't give up. Okay? There's so many things that during the pandemic, that's when it was terrible. To be honest, it was terrible. It was pretty much the worst thing in life. And I've been raped by my dad. I've been through a lot of stuff. You know, my ex-boyfriend beat me, called me fat, ugly, stupid, had a baby with someone I love. But for crying out loud, this pandemic was probably the worst thing that ever happened. But because of that, that's why I became the best. Because there was so much that I could not control, man. And I'm a control freak. I want to know what's going on. I'm going somewhere. I need to know who's going to be there, right? You know, I need to know what time do you open? What time do you close? I need to know all this stuff. Because I need to be prepared. But the thing is, sometimes you can't be prepared. Sometimes a store is supposed to open at 6, but instead they don't open till 8, and you don't find out till you get there, right? So you have to plan your emotions, right? You have to plan that you're going to have emotional control. And that's the biggest thing. So being grateful, right? And saying, what's the opportunity in this? We talked about this before. What is the opportunity for me to get better? What lessons can I learn from this? Okay, so that's why I'm telling you again, what lessons can I learn from this? How can I take this, and it might just be a little obstacle, like the thing with the store not opening on time, right? Or maybe you made a mistake and you read it wrong on your phone. You looked it up and you thought you were prepared, and you thought it said 6, but it actually said 8, right? Whatever it is, be prepared to be patient. Be prepared to say, okay, let me just calm down. Okay, now, I'm not going to get upset. I'm just going to figure it out. This is fine. It's going to work out. And, you know, even something as little as that can really set you off. But if you know in advance, like, okay, I really want to get this thing at the store. I want my kombucha. I get upset sometimes when my kombucha isn't there. Because now where am I going to go to get it? Well, I might not get it. I just got to be prepared. I got to be, you know what? I'm grateful. Because, hey, I didn't want to, whatever it is, I'm grateful. Think about this. Just think about this. You have to be different from everybody else. If you want to change the world, you can't be like everybody else. Food, fitness, and leave you with this thought. Attitude of gratitude. Because attitude gets you latitude. With every single person, find something to be grateful for, right? Somebody waves at you, be grateful. Somebody smiles, be happy, be grateful, right? You got to find, because when we're struggling like this and you're going through this kind of thing in COVID-19 and you're homeless, you have to, because you're so desperate to feel something good, because it's so difficult. It's so hard and you feel all alone. You have to find something, anything, any little thing. You're grateful for it. And that is the place where I was when I was in that wheelchair and I had no hair. I had to start feeling grateful. I had to start a gratitude list and write everything down, and every person in my life that I'm grateful for, everything that I've been through, everything that was done, the ex that's over, I'm grateful for him. He taught me lessons. I'm grateful I'm clean and sober. I'm grateful, all these things. And now I'm grateful I can walk again. If nothing else, I can't think of anything else. I'm grateful to be in Los Angeles and I'm walking again and my hair is so freaking beautiful. It's crazy. I'm gorgeous, right? So, but if nothing else, think of that. Because if you think about it, if someone, let's say you give someone a gift, okay? And instead of them saying thank you, they say that's not what I wanted, or it's not good enough. Hey, where's more? Where's more? You need to give me more, right? Or if, like, say you send him something in the mail, and like a card or some money or whatever it is, and they never even acknowledge that you gave it to them. How inclined would you want to be to give them another gift? You wouldn't give them anything again. I already know. We're all human. Okay. Or you would, maybe eventually you felt sorry for them or something, or you're a people pleaser, but eventually you'd give up because you'd get resentful and angry and you get tired of that person neglecting you and not appreciating you. So be grateful, attitude of gratitude, prepare your emotions for that. No matter what obstacle you're coming to, you're going to find the good in it, and you're going to find a way around that obstacle to make you better instead of bitter. That's what happened through COVID-19. Instead of becoming bitter, I became better, and I want to thank you for helping me do that. You are worth it. My name is Liberty V. Justice, and there's no period in my V because my victories never end, and I'm here to help you get your victories, legends. If you enjoyed this show, do a review for us, 5 stars and 2 or 3 sentences to the people that could potentially see this podcast, and tell them why they should listen to the Rhythm for Revenue podcast. All right. It would help us out a lot. We want to grow our impact, influence, and our income with this show and help other people do the same. You are worth it. Thanks, y'all.